All right, so we're back. Let's continue on here. Like I promised, let's go ahead and add some physics here. So let me get over in this area here real quick. Maybe I'm going to move back the block here just so it's out of the way a little bit there. Okay. So let's add to our scene here. Let's add a sphere. So I'm going to here to create, and I'm going to 3D object, and I'm going to do a sphere. So I have a nice sphere there. All right, so it created it behind there. Haha, funny. All right, so I'm going to drag this up here. You'll eventually get used to moving stuff around, so it's not too bad. Don't worry about it if you don't get it right the first time. You can always go over here and select it if it's being a pain in the butt. Also, one of the things, if you're having a hard time finding the object, if you want to go to the object, you can double click on it. If you want to bring that object to you, you go over here to game, have it selected in the hierarchy. Go over here to game object and choose move to view. All right, and that'll bring it within your view of your camera. Cool. All right, so I've got that. Let me go ahead and bring in a texture for this because, well, we need some inspiration, right? All right, so I've got a texture for that, however weird looking it is. And hey, look, we have a basketball. All right. So right now, if I hit play, that basketball is just going to float in the air, right? So it's going to stop me, but it's not going to really do anything, right? So let's make it obey the laws of physics. So I'm going to click on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new object called a rigid body. So a rigid body is a kind of this like little plugin for an object that makes it react. It makes it use rigid body physics. That's opposed to soft body physics. So rigid body physics are like basic movement and bouncing and things like that. Soft body physics are like basically games that allow you to crash vehicles and cause real damage to it. You know, things like where, like, you know, if you play a game called BeamNG, that is a soft body physics simulator. So when you crash into a pole, it's really going to deform the vehicle that you're driving. Unfortunately, Unity doesn't have that built in, but we're going to use rigid body physics because that's going to do what we want for now. So I'm going to go over here to add component. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to physics because we're interested in 3D physics. And then I'm going to click on rigid body. So I'm going to click on that. All right, so it has added our object, physics for object. So I'm going to actually hit play. You notice it's going to react to gravity. Okay, well, it just fell. And if I walk into it, you'll notice that it reacts to me walking into it. And it rolls too, right? I just don't let it roll off the edge, right? Otherwise, just like Ethan, it's going to fall forever. Maybe we'll catch up to it. Yep, yeah, we did. There it goes. Okay, so it's there, but it doesn't bounce or anything, does it? Yeah, so let's make it bounce, right? We've got to make it bouncy. So you'd think that would be over here in the rigid body, but you'd be wrong, unfortunately. So let's change this, and it's in the weirdest area here, actually. It's actually under Sphere Collider. You'll notice here one of the things is material. So material is kind of like a settings for this. So I'm going to go here where it says none physics material. I'm going to click the little target to the right of that. So this is the browse button, basically. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to pop open a new window on the wrong screen. All right, so this is the one that popped up. So, hey, let's do rubber. Okay, we'll try rubber first. So I'm going to click on that. And if we hit play, you'll notice that it actually bounces just a little bit. That's not really what we want. That's terrible rubber, right? So I'm going to change this, and we're going to go here. We're going to click on that. And we're going to go over here to bouncy. Now, bouncy is a little bit weird because it's actually impossibly bouncy. So if we click play on this, so it's bouncing and it's getting higher. as it bounces? Yeah. And we can kind of play with that. If we get underneath, it's going to bounce away, right? No. Doink, and there it goes. We can still roll it and it'll bounce off stuff too, so that's pretty cool. So we can change things, like we can mess with its mass. We can do a drag, an angular drag, so it doesn't rotate as easily. We can do all kinds of stuff. We can, keep it from moving in a specific direction if we want. We can freeze the position with X, Y, and Z, and we can freeze the rotation. So if you don't want to rotate, you can do that as well. There are certain reasons why you might want to do that. Cool. So that object now has physics on it, and it'll bounce off to wherever we want. We can hit it, and with a collider and cause it to move around. So that's really the easy part of physics on here. Physics is amazingly easy because of that. Now, if I wanted to do something special, like cause something to bounce off and go some other way, we'd have to write some code to do that. So that's a little bit further beyond what we're going to do here, so don't worry about it. One of the other things I want to do is I want to show you something here. So we have our cube here, right? And we have the sphere, right? So the sphere is the one that has the physics on it. And watch this. I'm going to take the sphere and I'm going to drag it onto the cube so it is a child of the cube. And I'm going to hit play on here real quick. And right now it doesn't do anything because the sphere is a child of the cube, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and go back here. I'm going to drag this off. So to remove something as a child from it, you just drag it off. All right. And this time I'm going to drag the cube as a child of the sphere. So I'm going to hit play on this and watch this. And because they are, the ball is the parent of the cube, when the ball moves, it changes how the cube moves. So if I run into this, I can affect that as well. Even though that the box does not have physics. It's kind of getting it from the ball bouncing, right? Cool. Eventually the ball might stop bouncing because something happens, but we can restart it. So it's kind of entertaining, isn't it? And one thing you're going to notice is even if something changes in game, when you turn it off and hit play again, it's all back to the way it was. All right? Cool. All right. So one of the things I wanted to show you here was the reason why when I hit play on mine, you'll notice that it turns blue. All right, so normally I've been playing on this maximized on view because I want to see the whole screen. But there are times when we want to adjust stuff. All right, so I'm going to click on the basketball there, and I'm going to hit play real quick. All right. So you'll notice there that these things are actually changing, right? So I want to adjust something about this right here. And I can do it real time. So I could either go in here and type in a value, or I can grab on this Y here, for example, and I can drag it and make it do things, right? So I can modify the game world. So I can change its X position here, just like that. Cool. Let's see, Z. And you'll notice I'm changing how this works, right? How it looks. And the problem though is, you're like, okay, that's fine. I go in here and mess with this, but the moment, though, I hit play again, it undoes all those changes. So let's say you're working on something and you don't realize you're in play mode. You start modifying it and doing things like you get it all adjusted out and you go up to the play button and you notice, oh no, the play button's already hit. The problem is there's no way to save, as of right now, how to save those changes that you've made, unfortunately. So you're kind of stuck. You can either go like write down all the settings that you made, or just bite the bullet and turn it off and recreate them or whatever. But one of the things that I've done to make sure that I don't run into that problem, so I'm absolutely sure that I know I'm in play mode, is I like to have it change the color of the user interface according to what's going on. So in this case, I have it turn blue when I hit play. So we can modify these values. If we go here to edit and then preferences, all right? We got edit and preferences, and then here we have the Unity preferences. I'm going to go down here to where it says colors, all right? So I've clicked that, and I'm going to go down here to where it says general. It says play mode tint. So by default, it's some boring gray color, but I like to change this off. So let me jump out real quick, and I'm going to show you how you can easily adjust it. So I'm going to put it into play mode, and this is one of the things that you can actually do and have it save your settings. So we're going to go here to edit and then preferences, and then go to colors, and I'm going to adjust the play mode tint. So by default, it's this boring gray color, right? But if I move it over, I can apply a little bit of color to it so it's easier to see. Now, things to remember, don't make it too dark, otherwise you're going to have a hard time reading text, even though it's going to be it's really going to jump out. So you want it to be a kind of a nice light color, but enough to see. All right, so we can go ahead and change these colors if we want. Cool? And that's why I do that. So it's easier to see, hey, I'm in play mode, don't forget. So I close those out, and there it is. When I'm in regular mode, that's the way it is. Cool? All right. So we've talked about adding objects, adding physics, adding collision, bringing objects in from Maya, texturing things, talked a little tiny bit about lighting and play mode and all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and stop the play mode here real quick, and I'm going to save my project. By the way, you can always tell if you've saved your project recently by the little asterisk that sits here or over here. All right, if you see the asterisk, it means you have made changes since the last time you have saved. So you should go up here and go to File, Save Scenes. All right, cool. We've saved that scene. All right, so this is kind of a good stopping point for here. In the next video, I'm going to show you another tool that's going to make your life pretty cool and kind of demote Maya, right? Cool. Let's see you in a few minutes.